Hi, this is History of Medieval India, Satish Chandra, Chapter 3, South India, the Chola Empire. So it's from 900 to 1200. We are going to see powerful kingdom had arisen in South India during the 6th and 8th century. The most important among them were the Pallavas and the Pandyas who dominated modern Tamil Nadu, the Cheras and the modern Kerala, and the Chalukyas who dominated the Maharashtra or the Deccan. It was the Chalukya king Pulkeshi II who had defeated Harsha and not allowed him to expand his territory towards the Deccan. Some of these kingdoms, such as Pallava and Pandya, had strong navies. They also played an important role in strengthening economic, religious, and cultural relations with the countries of Southeast Asia and with China. Their natives enabled them to invade and rule some part of Sri Lanka for some time. The Chola Empire, which arose in the 9th century, brought under its control a large part of the peninsula. The Cholas developed a powerful navy which enabled them to conquer Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Its impact was felt even by the countries of Southeast Asia. The Chola Empire may be said to mark a climax in South Indian history. The rise of the Chola Empire. The founder of the Chola Empire was Vijayalala, who was at first a feudatory of the Pallavas. He captured Tanjavur in AD 850, and by the end of the 9th century, the Cholas had defeated both Pallavas of Kanchi and weakened the Pandyas, bringing the southern Tamil country under their control. But the Cholas were hard put to defeat their position against the Rashtrakuta. As we have noted in the previous chapter, Krishna III defeated the Cholas king and annexed the northern part of the Chola Empire. This was a serious setback to the Chola, but their rapid recovery, particularly after the death of Krishna III in 1965 and the downfall of Rashtrakuta Empire. The age of Rajaraja and the Rajendra I. The great Chola ruler were Rajaraja 985 to 1014 and his son Rajendra I. Rajaraja destroyed the Chera navy at Trivandrum and attacked Kulyan. He then conquered Madurai and captured the Pandyan king. He also invaded Sri Lanka and annexed its northern part of the empire. These moves they were particularly motivated by his desire to bring the trade with the Southeast Asian countries under his control. The Coromandel coast and Malabar were the centers for India's trade with the countries of Southeast Asia. One of his naval exploits was the conquest of Maldives. Rajaraja annexed and northwest part of the Ganga kingdom in Karnataka and overran Vengi. Rajendra had been appointed his apparent in his father's lifetime and appointed higher apparent in his father's lifetime and had considerable experience in administration and warfare before his annexation to the throne. He carried forward the annexationist policy of Rajaraja by completely overrunning the Pandya and Chera countries and including them in his empire. The conquest of Sri Lanka was also completed with the crown and royal insignia of the king and the queen of Sri Lanka being captured in the battle. Sri Lanka was not able to find herself from the Chola control for another 50 years. Rajaraja and Rajendra I marked their victories by erecting a number of Shiva and Vishnu temple of various places. The most famous of these was the Brihadeshwara temple at Tanjavur, which was completed in 1010. The Chola rulers adopted the practice of having inscription writing on the walls of this temple, giving a historic narrative of their victories. That is why we know a great deal more about the Cholas that their predecessor. One of the most remarkable exploits in the region of Rajendra I was the march across Kalinga to Bengal, in which the Chola army crossed the river Ganga and defeated two local kings. This expedition, which was led to Chola general, took place in 1022, and I follow in reverse the same route and followed in this reverse the same route with the great conquest Samudragupta had followed. Okay, before that, let us see the map. So, this is the Chola kingdom, Pandyas. So, Cheras were here belonging to Kerala. So, Chalukyas of Vengi, Kalinga. So, this is the map, Chola kingdom at 1280. Okay, then to commemorate this occasion, Rajendra I assumed the title Gangaikonda Chola. The Chola who conquered the Ganga. He built a new capital near the mouth of Kaveri river and called it Gangaikonda Cholapuram, the city of Chola who conquered the Ganga. As even more remarkable exploits in the time of Rajendra I were the naval expedition against the revived Sri Vijay King Empire. The Sri Vijaya Empire, which had been revived in the 10th century, extended over the Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, Java, and the neighboring island and controlled the overseas trade route to China. The rulers of the Sailendra dynasty of the Sri Vijaya temple kingdom were the Buddhists and had cordial relation with the Cholas. The Sailendra ruler had built a Buddhist monastery at Nagapattinam, and his instance Rajendra I had endowed a village for its upkeep. The cause of the breach between the two apparent was the Chola eagerness to remove obstacles to Indian traders and to expand trade with China. The expedition led to the conquest of Kadrambha or Kheda and a number of other places in the Malay Peninsula and Sumatra. The Chola navy was the strongest in the area, and for some time the Bay of Bengal was converted into the Chola Lake. Okay. The Chola ruler also sent a number of embassies to China. These were partially diplomatic and partially commercial. Chola's embassy reached China in 1016 and 1033. A Chola embassy of 70 merchants reached China in 1077, and according to Chinese account received 81,800 string of copper cast, that is more than 4 lakh of rupees in returns for the ancient of tribute. Comprising glassware, camphor, brocades, rhinoceros horn, ivory, etc. Tribute was the word last used by the Chinas for all articles brought for trade. The Chola rulers fought constantly with the Chalukyas who had succeeded the Rashtrakuta. They are called the later Rashtrakuta, and their capital was at Kalyani. The Cholas and the later Chalukyas clashed for the overlordship of Vengi. The Tungabhadra Doab and the Ganga ruled country in the northwest Karnataka. Neither side was able to gain a decisive victory in this conquest, and ultimately it exhausted both the kingdoms. It also appears that the war were becoming harassed during this time. The Chola rulers plundered. Chola rulers sacked and plundered Chalukya cities, including Kalyani, massacred the people, including Brahmins and children. They adopted a similar policy in the Pandyan country, settling military colonies to overave the population. They destroyed Anuradhapura, the ancient capital of the ruler of Sri Lanka, and treated their king and queen harshly. They are blots in the history of the Chola Empire. However, once they had conquered a country, the Cholas tried to set up a sound system of administration in it. One of the remarkable features of the Chola administration was their encouragement to local self-government in the village all over their empire. Okay, remarkable feature. What is it? It's a local self government. Okay, the Chola Empire continued to flourish during the 12th century, but it declined during the early part of the 13th century. The later Chalukya Empire in the Maharashtra area had also come to an end during the 12th century.